carry for Saquon Barkley. Room past the 20. And finally taken down to the 25-yard line. To give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
And you remember pre-draft, there's a lot of speculation the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of each.
Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Josh Lambo now for the point after. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. To return, it's Kalen Clay. The Giants making their way out, and at this point you would have to think that all mentions of last year maybe erased from team history, or at least that's what they want. Clearly, Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, the talent on this team, too good for another 3-13 finish, right?
And I think that was reflected in their draft in 2018. Because if it was an all-out rebuild, they would have drafted a quarterback in that.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Dante Fowler in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Remember this Jacksonville D, 55 sacks a season ago.
I think they want to fight for nickname supremacy with Pittsburgh. Remember, they were just one behind Pittsburgh for the overall lead in sacks last year. Pittsburgh known as Blitzburg. Jacksonville, they're known as Saxonville.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, it's Manning. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
So after the INT, it's Bortles. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Throwing is Bortles. That's complete right around the 8. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. In their mind, certainly a field goal try would be a letdown. They had the great starting field position. Now facing 3rd down. Here's Fournette. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal.
Now I would be surprised if they go for it. 3 points is not ideal. It's not what they want, but it's still only the first half. Take the 3 points and move on.
And Lambeau will put this one through, and that will make our score 9-0. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
On the return, Clay. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. First carry for Jonathan Stewart. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On second down, here's Manning. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you wonder, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way.
And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's a give to Barkley. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
From the gun on 3rd down, Manning. And this is Shepard on the catch. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Back deep, Rashad Green. The Jags heading out on offense. Last year we said, Charles, one of these years it has to come together for the Jaguars, doesn't it? Well, guess what? It certainly did. They won double-digit games for the first time in 10 seasons, and they picked up 2 more wins in the playoffs before falling in that tough one to New England.
And they decided that on offense, they were going to be a team that knocked you off the ball and ran it. That's why they drafted Leonard Fournette out of LSU, and he gave them some toughness and an identity. Quarterback Blake Bortles, often criticized, but elevated his play in the playoffs, both with his legs and his arm. For the defense, that's where the big transition happened. Yannick Ngakoue coming off the edge. Calais Campbell, maybe the best player on the defensive line in the league last season. But Jalen Ramsey out at corner, he gives them their swagger, he gives them their look, and he gives them great play on the edge.
Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. Bortles going to run the draw with Fournette. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation. Looking back to Leonard Fournette's rookie campaign, over 1,000 yards rushing. And coming into the league, some people saw this kid as an ex-Adrian Peterson. What can we expect from him going forward?
I like the comparison because of the size, the strength, the speed. But I think he catches the ball better than Adrian Peterson. So I think they can up his utilization in the passing game. But what really impressed me was down the stretch in the divisional playoff game against Pittsburgh, hurt his ankle, left the game for a while, and came back and helped power his team to a big victory. Remember, he had some dings at LSU that kept him out of a few games. I thought that was a breakthrough for Leonard Fournette.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Boy, Brandon, that's what I'd call an ill-advised pass right there on 3rd down. I mean, you just need a yard or two to keep the drive going. Instead, he's trying to hit a home run. You've got to really like your chances if you're going to take a shot like that.
A 1st down carry for Barkley. Now the ball comes loose. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. And the Jags grab it. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. On 2nd down, they run with Stewart. Room here to run. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On 1st down, Manning letting one go deep, and it's intercepted at the goal line. A.J. Boye with a pick, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So that is 3 interceptions now in this 1st half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a You're excited about hitting him in the 1st half? Maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Fournette, a 1st down carry. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
380. 380.
Now they'll throw it. Bortles. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Play clock down to 3, and we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Working from the gun, it's Bortles. Open man is Westbrook, complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. 62 yards. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. So on third and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. This offense trots back out there now, and as they do, Charles, one thing to point out that we saw a second ago are some of the new rules in the NFL this year regarding kickoffs.
Yeah, nowadays, the kickoff team, no more running starts. Remember that when you kind of circle a guy around and here he goes? No more. You have to start, close to the ball, and when it's kicked, then you get to take off and go, so you can't build up your speed that way. Also, when you're returning it, remember those wedges that we used to say where guys would form together, 2 or 3 guys? No more of those. So it'd be a lot more man-on-man, one-on-one blocking. And also they have rules about where people have to be when the ball's kicked, where they have to be when the ball's caught. So to me, it's much more like a punt return than it is an actual kickoff return.
And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Dante Fowler in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. Third and long for the Giants, and Eli following the sack. Shotgun now for Manning. Looking for Shepard deep. And that's caught inside the 35. A big play there, Manning to Shepard, and even 50 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Manning. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And now before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here's Riley Dixon now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's T.J. Yeldon. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
A fake to Fournette. Now it's Bortles to throw. He goes underneath for Yeldon. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. It'll be a gain of 9, and just like that, it's third down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
The Jaguars on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Snap comes at 1, and it's Bortles. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. 1:59 to go in the first half. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And how about this, a fake? And this is caught. And the fake will work. He's going to have a first down. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a first down. Throwing on first down is Bortles. Looking outside, and he's got a man. That's Lee. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. A loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Again, it's Bortles. He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Bortles now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Bortles on the give to Fournette. Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Sunday.
On second down, here's Bortles. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
380.
From the gun on third down, Bortles. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
380.
Now Bortles again. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Janoris Jenkins. The 40, the 20, 10, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Giants touchdown. think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick six really changes the complexion, probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now, probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they get their focus back.
And, oh, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Now the return, Rashad Green. And a big-time mess on the return. He's out of bounds. He won't even get this back to the 5-yard line. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll check in for the first time with the newest member of our Madden family, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. On the return, Clay. Ooh, the juke. And the Giants ready to come out now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball. Now Manning throwing on second down. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to lead to a third down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat. Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown. And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control. Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect. No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit and not go down and fumble the ball. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively. Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Now Bortles throwing on second down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it first and goal. Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it. They'll try to run for it with Yeldon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar in some discomfort down there on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. Bortles going to throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They get only a yard there. Now it's third and goal. The Jaguars on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. They're looking at a third and goal here. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers. I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run.
and just lost track, and it cost him.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And Lambeau will put this one through, and that will give him a 12-point lead. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
New York set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Well, those Giant fans, you know that they love seeing Saquon Barkley wearing their jersey, but it's interesting. He actually grew up a Jets fan.
Yeah, I wonder what his dad was thinking. What would Big Al was thinking on draft night? Had to be so happy for his son. But they grew up watching Jets games. Just sit together, watch it. In fact, Dad has a Jets tattoo.
Yes.
Okay, so that tells you about how much he loves that team. You think Saquon's going to fix that and make it a Giants tattoo?
Yeah, wants to make that a Giants tattoo. That family, though, they fully converted. They're supporting the G-Men. Now Stewart on 1st down. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. Pass incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
The Giants on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. Working from the gun, Manning. It's caught, Shepard. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd. Play action. Manning. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. He got 29 yards that time. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Manning. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Malik Jackson in there to record another sack. Their 6th of the afternoon. Aldrick Rosas now to try the Giants field goal. And this one is no good. He missed it, and this score will stay right where it is. And that one, my goodness, that was almost too easy.
Yeah, and you're not going to have too many attempts shorter than that one. I don't think anyone got a finger on it. That's about as bad a miss as you can have.
Bortles leads the Jags up 1st and 10 at the 20. Now Bortles. Throw left side complete. It's Lee. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
Here we go.
On 1st and 10, here's Bortles. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Bortles dumps it off to Fournette. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Bortles to throw once more. Completes it to Lee. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down. Bortles now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here's a give to Fournette. And some space here. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch.
They'll run it again with Fournette. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 40. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down.
And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Olivier Vernon not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From midfield, here's Bortles. He's going to look deep down the field. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 19. From the gun, it's Bortles. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
On first down, Manning. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
A handoff to Barkley. And he's got some space here. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. That burst good for 20 and a first down. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They stay on the ground. This time it's Stewart. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. It's hauled in by Shepard. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Now Saquon Barkley. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And down inside the 15 he goes. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. He's making quite a splash here in his NFL debut.
Well, he was advertised as being NFL ready, and both you and I tend to arch an eyebrow a little bit when we first hear that. But I think that they were right about this one.
To Barkley on the check down. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up 2nd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the...
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Malik Jackson in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. 3rd and long for the Giants, and Eli following the sack.
Hey, gun. Watch 10. Come on, watch 10. Hey, watch the slant.
Shotgun now for Manning. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. He's now thrown 4 interceptions, and I hate to mention this, but he's a guy that has twice thrown 5 in his career in a single game.
Hard to believe, isn't it? And the tough part is, playing in this NFL, you don't normally just back off totally from throwing the football, do you? So the potential exists for that 5th one to occur.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
To throw, it's Bortles. The open man is Westbrook. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. That'll put him at 95 receiving yards now as he's got a first down. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. Working from the gun, it's Bortles. And incomplete here on 3rd down. And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. And New York set to take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when you're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Throwing now is Manning. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Manning able to find OBJ there for a Giants 1st down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
To throw is Manning. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Short play like that in this situation this late, that's a win for the defense.
No doubt. I remember something Coach Madden used to talk about all the time. Sometimes you can't just take what the defense gives you. You have to take what you need. And in this case, the offense is taking what the defense is giving them, not what they need.
The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Manning again. He finds Beckham complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. Manning to throw once more. Over the middle to Beckham. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Manning now on 1st down. They find some open field here. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. Clock rolling as the Giants will hurry to the line.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
He's back to throw. And, oh, Oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Gibson.
It's interesting that when it comes to two-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. And this is going to be recovered by the Jaguars. And that should just about do it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. A handoff to Fournette. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for Jacksonville, not much to complain about here. They come in and steal a victory in a tough place to play on a Sunday night. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.